What up, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. It is mock draft season for the New York Giants, and we've got another one coming at you from, in my opinion, the number one draft analyst and guru that works in the media. His name is Dane Brugler of The Athletic. He does awesome work. He comes out with pretty much an encyclopedia of every year for the NFL draft. It is called The Beast. You should check it out. I've learned a lot from it, and I can't wait for this year. He went through a 2-round mock draft. Giants have 3 picks in the top 2 rounds. Let's see who he had the Giants taking. Well, number 1 overall, he had Caleb Williams going to the Chicago Bears. No shocker there. I think Caleb Williams is going to be the best quarterback out of this class. I think he's going to be a superstar, and if I'm the Giants, I would do whatever it takes to get up to that spot. Number 2 overall, he has the Washington Commanders selecting the North Carolina quarterback, Drake Maye. I am a big fan of Drake Maye as well. I'm not against trading up for him either, but I don't think that number 2 is a spot that Washington will trade out of. Maybe they trade up to 1, they flip-flop with the Bears, and then maybe the Bears trade out again with the Giants. Don't know how likely that is. But with number 3 overall, the quarterback-needy New England Patriots bypass selected Jayden Daniels, and according to Brugle, they are selecting Marvin Harrison Jr., MHJ. He is going to walk into the NFL and be a top 15 receiver. The dude is special, almost like his dad is a Hall of Famer. Malik Nabers, kind of early for him. We've seen Malik Nabers go number 6 overall to the New York Giants, but Brugler has him going number 4 to the Arizona Cardinals. And then number 5, the Los Angeles Chargers select tight end out of Georgia, Brock Bowers. Soap, Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Nabers, and Brock Bowers. These are, let's do this. If the draft fell out like this, if both top quarterbacks were gone, both top receivers were gone, and the best tight end was gone, who would you pick in this spot? Is it Jayden Daniels, the quarterback at LSU? Is it Joe Alt, the left tackle out of Notre Dame? Or is it Rome Odunze, the wide receiver out of Washington? If the board fell the way it did in this mock draft, who would you take at pick number 6? Let me know. For me, I'm going to continue to beat the drum that I've been beating the last couple of weeks. In this spot, if it fell out like this, I would select Joe Alt, number 6 overall. He fills the biggest need, and he's the best player in the draft at that position. I don't think you can win in this league until you fortify the offensive line if you're the Giants. You have to invest in that. I would go with Joe Alt. Dane Brugler, though, he went with Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. This is now the 2nd draft analyst that has mocked the Giants to Rome Odunze at pick number 6. Last week it was Mel Kiper. This week it is Dane Brugler. This is what he said about the receiver. Quote, with his speed, his size, and his profile and ability to play through contact, Odunze is a quarterback-friendly target with the tools to be a legitimate number 1 option. The Giants haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2018, but Odunze might change that as a rookie. I know there will be plenty of why not a quarterback questions, though I think a player like Jayden Daniels is possible. Drafting a quarterback in the top 10 is an ownership decision, and we know Giants ownership loves Daniel Jones. General manager Joe Schoen has been on the road this fall to see all of the top quarterbacks, but I'll go with the QB-friendly target as the answer to the team's passing woes. So we'll talk about Odunze in a second, but are we ready to go all in on Jayden Daniels? It's not so much about me. The question is for you, Joe Schoen. Are you ready to put your job and your career as an NFL general manager on the line for Jayden Daniels, who I think is going to be a good quarterback in this league? Because if you miss on Daniels, and you missed on Evan Neal, and you missed on the contract for Daniel Jones, you will never be a general manager again in this league. I think Daniels is a good quarterback. I don't know if he's the guy that I'm falling in love with at pick 6. I love it. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's good. I don't know if I want to take him at pick number 6. Let's talk about Odunze, though, who Dane Brugler had going to the Giants at pick 6. Rome Odunze, he was special all year long for Washington. Coming in at 6'3", 215 pounds. When you talk about creating a wide receiver to play on the outside, along the boundary, and stretch the field vertically, Rome Odunze is that guy. He could push it downfield. I feel like he creates good separation. 92 grabs this year for almost 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns. and the size of a legit outside threat at 6'3", 215 pounds. And he wasn't just good this past year for Washington. He was good last year as well. In 2022, he had 92, or in the last 2 years, he has 92 grabs. This year, 92 grabs, 40 yards, 18 yards per catch, and 13 touchdowns. Last year in 2022, 75 grabs for 1,100 plus yards, 15 plus yards per catch, and 7 TDs. Those stats are just flipped. It's where it says 2022, that should say 2023, and where it says 2023, it should say 2022. I like Rome Odunze, but for me, I would take Joe Walton in this situation. I just don't believe that you could ever take wide receiver 3 over offensive tackle 1 when you have the worst offensive line in the National Football League, and you gave up 85 sacks. I would take Joe Alt there over Odunze. Coming up next, we'll go through the 2 picks that Dane Brugler had for the Giants as they picked in the second round 2 times, thanks to the Leonard Williams trade. But first, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, and they'll match your initial deposit up to $100. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on their projected stats. I'm a big fan. It's going to be a lot of fun playing Prize Picks for the NFL championship games this weekend. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. They also have options for the NBA and so much more. Check them out. That link is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. So, Giants are on the clock once again at pick number 39, and Dane Brugler had them selecting Bralen Trice, the edge rusher, out of Washington with pick number 39. And look, the Giants, they need more edge rushers, man. All you really got at this point is Kayvon Thibodeaux. Azeez Ojulari has proven that his availability is always in question. Trice this year for Washington had 49 tackles for 7 sacks, 1 forced fumble, comes in at 6'4", about 275 pounds. He could be your hand in the dirt, 4-3 edge, and I also think he could be a stand-up pass rusher in a 3-4 scheme. This is what Dane Brugler had to say about him. Quote, the Giants finished bottom 5 in several pass rushing metrics, including sacks. Although he isn't expected to test off the charts, Trice is an easy player to like because of his skilled, powerful hands and athletic urgency to quickly deconstruct blocks. We'll take a look at Trice's stats the last 2 years in Washington, but you need more edge rushers because you only got one on this team that I trust right now. And I know in my 29 years of rooting for this football team, the Giants are at their best when they're getting after the quarterback. And simply put, there's not enough talent in this position group between Thibodeaux, Ojulari, Boogie Basham, and Ryder Anderson. Trice was really, really good the last 2 years for Washington. Over 146 pressures the last 2 years. That's pretty freaking good. 32 QB hits, 16 sacks. The dude's good. And he's a freight train coming off the edge. The Giants, they need to get more better in the trenches. They just simply need more talent there. Whether that's Trice, whether that's somebody else, the Giants have to acknowledge and put assets into the edge department. It can't just be Kayvon Thibodeaux because we've seen that teams will tear us apart if we let them sit in that pocket cleanly. And I'm not trying to do that anymore. With the second pick in the second round for the Giants, pick number 47 that comes from the Leonard Williams trade, Brugle has the Giants selecting safety Javon Bullard, the Bulldog, out of Georgia. And a safety pick could make a lot of sense, and that's what Brugler talked about. With Xavier McKinney set to hit free agency, the Giants could be in the market for safety help. Bullard might not be a top tester, but he plays with range and made his presence known in the run game on every tape I studied. I just like the physicality that this dude plays with. He can line up in the slot. He could be your big nickel. I've seen him walk into the box, and he can get after the quarterback a little bit. 5'11", 200 pounds, 195 pounds, not worried about the size, but that dude brings his hat every single play, and he's an underrated coverage guy as well. When you watch the tape of Bullard, and when I watched every game for Georgia this year, the dude pops off the screen. He can play in the slot. He can play up high. He could be your big nickel. He could be a third safety on the field. He plays everywhere. And he's good, man. Last 2 years, 4 interceptions. He had 5 pass breakups this year, 3 pass breakups last year. The dude is a really good athlete. He fills a position of need. And I'm always cool with taking a guy from Georgia to play on my defense. Bullard just plays with his hair on fire, man. I think he's a little bit better version of him. I think he covers better, but it kind of gives me a little bit of like Jalen Petrie vibes a little bit, where he plays bigger than his size is, and he gets downhill. He's not afraid to hit somebody, not afraid to get in the mix. Remember that play when Georgia beat Ohio State in the playoff and C.J. Stroud went crazy? There was a throw to the back line of the end zone where Marvin Harrison goes up to jump and tries to toe tap it, and Bullard just comes and knocks the piss out of him. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for hitters on this defense because I am tired of watching Josh Dobbs run through Xavier McKinney. You want big-time money? You couldn't even tackle the astronaut, Xavier McKinney. If he's gone, Bullard would be a guy that I would definitely keep my eye on. So in round 1, Rome Odunze was the pick for Dane Brugler. At the first spot in round 2, it was Bralen Trice, the edge rusher, and he ended the first 2-round mock draft with Javon Bullard. I want you now to grade his mock draft for me. This is not my mock draft. This is Dane Brugler's mock draft. Works for The Athletic. He's the best in the biz. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. For me, this is a C+. I thought the players the Giants got are going to be good football players. I think Odunze will be good. I think Bralen Trice will be good. And I think Bullard, will be good as well. But you didn't address the biggest need on this team, the offensive line. 85 sacks last year. If you come out of the first 2 rounds, 3 selections, without an offensive lineman, what are you doing? You need to draft an offensive lineman. I like the addition of an edge. You need another edge. I like the addition of a safety, but I kind of like Dane Belton, and I kind of like Jason Pinnock. And I think I'd rather use a 4th-round pick on a safety. You have to walk away with an offensive lineman within the first 3 picks. As always, just want to say thank you and appreciate you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon on your way out.